Hey guys, Angus here. Got another Airsoft video for you guys today. Today we've got another Airsoft product review, and the piece of gear we're going to be taking a look at today is the item set before us. This is the Valken / Annex MI-7 Airsoft full face mask for Airsoft or paintball games. Now this is a piece of gear more so geared towards the beginner level of players. In all honesty, it reminds me of a rental style mask, but it is a protective full face mask in the end. Now, as you can see, this mask is in the black coloring, and if you're interested in purchasing it, there'll be a link down below in the description to airsoftstation.com where you can buy it for about $30. If you don't like the black coloring, there are plenty other of different colors available, just difference in prices. Some go for $30, $35, and even up to $50 depending on those different camo patterns you want. But we're going to be taking a look at the basic black one. Let's go ahead, hop into the review. Alright, so hopping right into the actual review of the mask here, we've gone ahead and zoomed in on it so you can see it a little bit closer up. And as you can see, like I said earlier in the introduction portion of the video, it really does look like just your typical rental mask you might find at your local paintball field. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just me being someone who's had the higher end masks, it just looks kind of plain to me. But it's made for protection, not made for looks, and that's really what we want to cover here. Obviously, being made by Valken, this is something that isn't just limited to the Airsoft world. The Essence is an Airsoft channel, but you can certainly go ahead and use it for paintball purposes as well. So it might be nice if you play both sports. The other advantages to the full face mask are, say you play CQB, your field requires you to have a full face mask, or if you're just under 18 at certain outdoor fields, this might be something nice to pick up. So if you ever go to one of those legitimate fields, not just playing with your buddies in the woods, you can have something to wear. Now, the mask is obviously black as the coloring goes. It's constructed pretty much entirely of plastic. There really is no metal on this mask at all, besides a couple screws holding the straps on. So you get an entirely plastic mask, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because personally I wouldn't want to have a heavy, bulky metal mask weighing my head down in a game. It's fairly lightweight, weighs maybe 1-2 pounds, so nothing really too heavy, and the protection is certainly very nice. It's made of a solid plastic. Therefore, if a BB hits it, it's not going to crack. Paintball hits it, not going to crack. It's going to protect your face, your entire face, another benefit of the full face mask, without any damage coming to your actual skin. Now the visor on top here, this is removable. When you get it in the package, this will come unattached. You have to pop it in yourself. It's very simple. There are two large slits on either side of the sides of the mask, and you simply slide the slits of the visor into there. It latches in, and it's fairly solid, but if you wanted to take it off, all you have to do is simply pop the pieces out, and then it would come off. The visor is obviously practical. Say it's a sunny day, maybe it's kind of rainy out, you want to give your lens the most protection as possible from possible glare or raindrops, so you pop the visor on there. Not a necessary piece. My experience in running the full face mask, I rarely use the visor because frankly I think it kind of gets in the way a little bit when it comes down to certain things. The visor is decorated with a large Annex logo. As you can see, it's a star and then reads Annex. The mask itself is covered with various logos, one on the nose piece here, one on the lens, and the goggle strap, which I'll show you later, also reads Annex. They certainly are trying to advertise their company on here. The lens that the mask comes with is a thermal lens. This is pretty much your basic lens. It's not the yellow tint, it's not the dark tint, it's not a mirror lens, just your basic lens that, like I mentioned earlier, you'd get in a rental mask at a field. They say it's anti-fog. Don't believe that it's never going to fog. Really, any lens is going to fog, including this one. Just means it's fog resistant, might not fog as easily, but trust me, it's still going to fog. When it comes to the inside of the mask, it is fairly comfortable. There are plenty of foam pieces surrounding the eye area, so that way your eyebrows, your nose area isn't pressed up against hard plastic. It's pressed up against some soft foam, so it's a little bit more comfortable. Might get a little annoying, might get a little hot in the summer, maybe rubbing against your eyes, so maybe that might be something you want to rip off later, but the point is, it is fairly comfortable when you first put it on. The earpieces extend all the way back so they cover your ears. Trust me, nothing worse than getting shot with a paintball in the ear, or a BB sometimes can hurt pretty bad, so it's nice to give you that full protection. It's almost 260-degree coverage of your head, maybe a little bit more than that. The only real exposed area being the back, so I definitely recommend maybe wearing a hat or something in the back. The strap is obviously adjustable. You can go ahead and adjust this to the different sizes depending on how big your head is. You also do have a chin strap down here. This is kind of unnecessary. I've always found these uncomfortable, but I imagine they secure this onto your face a little bit better. You don't want to trip in the game and it fly off, which is certainly a bad situation, so I would recommend you use a chin strap even if it is a little bit uncomfortable. The strap's made of a soft fabric, so it's not too bad. The chin strap is made of a kind of tough, rigid kind of fabric, so I'd watch out for that, as it, like I said, it is a little bit uncomfortable. Spinning the mask around once again, the final thing I really have to talk about up close would be the muffling of the voice. As you can see, you do get a good amount of ventilation here in the front of the mask, so it doesn't get too hot and sweaty in there. You're not breathing real loud, turning into Darth Vader with this thing on, as it does allow some good ventilation, some good not exactly muffling of the voice. It allows your voice to project fairly well, not too bad. As you can tell here, the voice is still able to project fairly well, and overall I don't think it's going to really hinder you too much if you're someone who likes to scream rather loud in games. One con with the mask on right now under these hot lights, I can certainly tell you that it's quite warm in here. The foam, as I mentioned earlier, certainly is pressing up against my face, and it's making it kind of uncomfortable and hot inside this mask. Certainly a little bit sticky, a little bit stiff in here, but the ventilation does help a little bit. So overall, this has just been a basic review of the Valken/Annex MI-7 Airsoft full face mask, available at AirsoftStation.com. It's a fairly nice piece of protective gear if you're a beginner airsofter just getting into the sport, want something to protect your face, or if you're just going to want to have the mask on standby if you ever go to a field where you're going to need one. It's a fairly solid piece. I'd recommend it. Certainly passed in my book as a solid beginner piece. So thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe.